wallstreet.org.
It's 6:49 and you're listening to Morning Edition on No Paywall, Free to All WNYC. I'm Michael Hill, Kai Wright, host and managing editor of Notes from America, with us this morning as we ask for your support. We're more than halfway to our goal of 10,000 listeners donating to WNYC in this fundraiser, but we need your help to get all the way there. This fundraiser ends tomorrow night. We are listener-supported. That means your support, listener-supported radio, and we're asking for your support right now with a financial contribution to WNYC.org. Click the donate button at the top of the page or call 888-376-9692. And Kai, operators are standing by waiting to take a call.
Standing by, going to make it quick and easy for you. It doesn't take a long time. And we're going to, as always, thank you for your gift in addition to continuing to provide you with no paywall, free to all news and information. We're going to give you a special coffee gift this morning. If you give by 9 a.m., it can be $10 a month, $15 a month, whatever you choose to give. We will give you a thank you gift of a 12-ounce can of Brooklyn Roasting Company coffee, roasted specially for WNYC listeners in support of this drive. It's medium roast coffee and made right there in Dumbo. That's for any amount that you give. But, if you give $10 a month, you can also choose the WNYC Bagoo, for instance. If you give $13 a month, you could choose that WNYC Power Bank to keep you going throughout the day. But whatever you do it now. Do it before 9 a.m. because this is the second to last day of the drive. 888-376-9692 or go to WNYC.org and make your donation.
888-376-9692. As you know, partisan viewpoints and heated debates can obscure important issues and distract from what really matters. With WNYC, you hear from all sides and get answers to tough questions so you can come to your own conclusions. We're dedicated to the truth and accountability, whatever side of the aisle it comes from. You get this kind of news coverage on WNYC, and that's because WNYC is listener-supported public media. That means your support, and we're asking you to support WNYC right now. Yes, you listen, but do you support it financially? 888-376-9692, or you can donate online, WNYC.org. Click the donate button at the top.
It is super easy. Mornings are hectic. We get it. We know it. We make it simple. All we're going to need is a little bit of contact information, how much you want to give. That's it, and then you will have done your part. 888-376-9692.
Inflation is getting better. That doesn't mean it's good.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Wall Street Journal's Tech News Briefing podcast. Hear what happened to Meta's big bet on the metaverse in a new series, available wherever you get podcasts.
From Marketplace, I'm Sabri Benishore, in for David Brancaccio. Inflation may be cooling, but that doesn't mean it's cold. Americans are still getting burned by rising prices. That is one conclusion from a new Federal Reserve survey, which also says parents, in particular, are struggling more than the average consumer. Marketplace's Nancy Marshall-Genzer has the details.
The Fed's Economic Well-Being of U.S. Households report for 2023 is kind of a financial pulse check of the consumer. The survey looks at income, employment, expenses, banking and credit, and housing. 65% of adults said inflation made their financial situation worse. 19% said much worse. Almost two-thirds, though, said they could cover a hypothetical $400 emergency expense, the same as in 2022, but down from 2021. But the share of parents living with kids under the age of 18 who are doing at least okay financially fell 5 percentage points from 2022. The median monthly cost of childcare is about $1,100 for parents using 20 or more hours a week, the same as the median monthly rent payment. Rent is up 10% from 2022, and 19% of renters reported being behind on the rent at some point in the year. I'm Nancy Marshall-Genzer for Marketplace.
If you are in the market to buy a home right now, chances are you'll pay more than the house is worth. According to a recent report from Fitch Ratings, home prices in 90% of metro areas are overvalued right now. And the most overvalued homes, the report says, are clustered in the South. Tennessee, Arkansas, and South Carolina are home to the sharpest price spikes. Marketplace's Kaylee Wells has more.
Typically, when mortgage rates go up, home prices go down. But right now, prices are high. Fitch Ratings Director Sean Park, who authored the report, says that's thanks to good old-fashioned supply and demand.
Demand is high, but the supply is limited, so that's why housing price is increasing.
Ever since the interest rate slump about 3 years ago, the housing market has been nothing like what passed for normal before the pandemic. Lawrence Yun is chief economist at the National Association of Realtors.
The normal housing market is what one sees on television, where one visits 3 houses, take time, and decide which one they want to choose.
Yun says now, instead, the reality is 1 out of every 3 homes has multiple offers, with buyers offering more than the asking price. The other problem is mortgage rates.
Now that the mortgage rates are higher, well, the current homeowners are refusing to list their property.
Those golden handcuffs are a big factor behind the lack of housing supply. It's not as bad in Austin and Boise and Charlotte, for example, where spikes in home building have helped cool the market. The states seeing the most overvalued homes are also seeing population growth and therefore more demand.
I had clients asking me when the bubble was going to burst for a decade. It's not going to burst. Nashville is on fire.
Greater Nashville Realtors President Kevin Wilson says Middle Tennessee is seeing its population grow by nearly 100 people per day, and they are more likely to be able to afford homes than they would be in other states.
It has had to do with the lowest unemployment rate, I believe, in the nation, with no state taxes. Compared to a lot of the other large metro areas, we still have what they would consider a lower cost of living.
Wilson does expect to see the supply increase and mortgage rates cool soon, but he says home buyers who can afford to get into the market now can take advantage of the decreased competition and refinance once interest rates finally drop. I'm Kaylee Wells for Marketplace.
All right, let's do the numbers. Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ futures are all down in the 1 to 0.2% range, with the Dow futures down 44 points. The yield on the 10-year Treasury is 4.449%. Cable TV provider Comcast just launched another offensive in the streaming wars. It's bundling its own streaming service Peacock with Netflix and Apple TV Plus all together, selling that to its customers for $15. Comcast stock is up 0.25% in pre-market trading. President Joe Biden.
You're listening to Morning Edition on WNYC. We're more than halfway to our goal of 10,000